Welcome everyone to your dose of calm in a sometimes chaotic and hostile world. My name is Zach, and this is TheMediaCows. I do realize that you guys have a lot on your minds with the channel and a lot of questions, and feel free, of course, to lay it all out there and be honest with me in the comments of this video. I'm not going to address any of that in this video, other than I'll say this is the first step of a plan for TheMediaCows that was created way back when the channel started. And I found it and I realized that I've strayed tremendously and been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And so I'm calming down and getting back to the basics. We're going to talk about the most anticipated movies of April 2016, specifically the top 10 highest rated movies on Google Trends for the month. Starting with number 10. It's a horror movie that I had never really heard of before this. It's called Green Room, and it's about a band that gets caught up in this murder situation with a racist hick group in the state of Oregon. Oregon, by the way, one of the few states that I've never been to, but that's an aside. I was surprised to see it this high up, but it looks interesting and it has tremendous reviews. It comes out April 15th. Also, it has Patrick Stewart in it. Number 9. If you know who Key and Peele are, well, they have a movie called Keyano, and it is about a small kitten. I was introduced to the show by a friend, and it really is fantastic, and this is one of my most anticipated movies of the month. It looks really funny. I feel like I need to kind of mention that there are reviews out for a lot of these movies already, so if you do care, go on Rotten Tomatoes. But I don't want to focus on critical opinion yet until I see these movies. As always, of course, I hope that you let me know in the comments what you think about these movies if you have any opinion or any care in the world, because that's what it's about for me, is talking back and forth with you guys. Number 8 is an action romantic comedy called Mr. Right, and it stars Anna Kendrick, which is why I'm pretty sure it's 8th on this list. It looks kind of generic. It is about a serial killer who has a moral turn and starts killing off everyone who hires him. And he, of course, is Mr. Right for Anna Kendrick. Number 7, the Next Barbershop movie. Barbershop, The Next Cut. It's been a long time since I've seen these movies. I watched it when I was a kid, and I might rewatch them just to kind of get me in the mood for this movie. Number 6 is probably the most applicable movie coming out in the entire month for this channel because it's the Ratchet Clank movie. And we are going to see if this movie can pull it off and if it's any good. It's fully animated. It looks gorgeous. We'll see where the story goes. I know very little bit about it, but I'm cautiously excited. We'll have to see. Number 5. We'll be able to watch Jake Gyllenhaal's life fall apart and then be pieced back together in Demolition. Perhaps sort of a parallel with this channel. We'll have to see. I don't know how the movie will turn out. I also don't know how my life will turn out because I could drop dead tomorrow. But it does look pretty good. Check out, of course, all the trailers. I'll put the trailers in the description so you guys can watch it if you're interested. I really like the trailer for this movie, and I'm excited for it. Number 4, Emma Watson in Colonia. This is a German movie, and it was already released in Germany back in February. And again, I feel like with Mr. Right, it was Anna Kendrick, and now I feel like with Colonia, it's Emma Watson. That is why this movie is getting such a solid amount of traffic and so high up on this list. I don't really have a take based on the trailer. I don't really have an opinion yet. I'll have to set aside all judgment, and then I'll eventually see it. Number 3, The Huntsman, Winter's War. Never saw the first one, Snow White and the Huntsman. I succumbed to the criticism of, I don't remember her name. Shoot, what is her name? Well, you can tell it's been a while, and I'm not even going to bother looking it up because it's not entirely relevant. This is a prequel or a sequel or something in the universe of Snow White and the Huntsman. Fittingly, it's a very high spectacle movie. I had no idea that this was even on the horizon. We'll see what it turns out like. The second movie on the list is my most anticipated movie for the entire month. It is The Jungle Book. I saw Zootopia with my brothers, and they showed the trailer for The Jungle Book, and I realized this movie looks really sweet. I cannot wait for it. So this is my most anticipated movie of it, personally. But I'm really stoked for The Jungle Book. Wonder what you guys think if you guys are a fan of of the previous Jungle Book movies. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it turns out wonderful. And number one. And before I tell you what number one is, I have to say there are more movies that come out in this month than these 10, but I had to draw the line somewhere, and I didn't want to ramble on for 20 minutes about movies and go through like every single one and put them all in order. So there's a bunch of other movies that are coming out, but the number one movie, the most anticipated movie of April 2016 is Hardcore Henry, which is a first-person movie. I'd be surprised if you guys don't know what Hardcore Henry is, because I've been out of the loop for a while here, and I've seen a bunch of commercials for it. It looks really interesting. It looks like a video game, and I'm hoping that the story and everything pans out for it, but it looks really awesome, albeit it looks like just a huge spectacle action movie. We'll see, though, because there's another first-person movie that comes out this month called Pandemic, so this is something I think kind of on the horizon that they're playing with and toying with and seeing how it turns out and could impact movies going forward, because it's not just, found camera footage. So those are the top 10 most anticipated movies for April 2016. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think it should be a different order, if you don't care about half the movies on this list, which movies do you care about the most? I want to know, and I will see you guys in the future. But in the meantime, keep gaming.